Hey gang, welcome back to the Pop Culture Cafe. I am Huck, and man, oh man, everybody's talking about it. It's collecting over. I quit. I'm staying. I'm on the fence. All right, let's talk about it. All right, so I've been watching a bunch of my friends here on YouTube talk about where they are at when it comes to collecting. Are they throwing in the towel? Are they scaling back? Are they just, it doesn't matter, I'm going for it, buy more than ever. So I'm going to weigh in and tell you where I'm at and tell you my feelings toward the collecting community right now. And then join me. Join me in the comments and tell me how you're feeling, where you're at. If you agree with some of the stuff I say, none, whatever, just let me know in the comments. So let's get to it. Now, the first obvious reason is cost. What's happening with cost out there? Okay, we have 4Ks that starting price now are $37.50 or something like that and above. If it's a Disney title, it's in the 40s, maybe more. So those are not good starting off points. So if you, my friend, are new to the collecting community, probably not a good thing for you to start eyeballing those kind of things. That may dissuade you. As many of us have said before, there's also sales that go on all the time. So Groove, Target, Amazon, they all do these sort of buy two, get one free, or 3 for 33 or something like that. That is the perfect way to add 4Ks to your collection. And honestly, that's all I do. So I'm going to get on that topic right now. When it comes to 4K, unless, something is coming out, like say the new Superman movie, I want that. And will it sell out? Probably not. That's a pretty popular title. So I'm not compelled to buy that day one, although I have seen that the Steelbook is already sold out and it's not even scheduled for street date for quite some time. So whatever, I don't have to have the Steelbook, so whatever, I miss out. You also have to have a mindset about FOMO, but we'll get to that. FOMO is another topic. So anyway, so there are definitely ways to add 4Ks to your collection without breaking the bank. Now, let's talk about 4Ks and adding them to your collection. Is it a big deal? Is it worth it? Well, in my opinion, so there's two reasons to do 4K. For me, 4K is titles I really like. I have a reservation now. Like, especially when it comes to space, I'm tapped. Space, price, all those things come into factor. And if you're like me, that is a big deal. Now, if you have endless shelf space, endless storage, and lots of money, this video isn't for you because you can keep going till the cows come home. But if you keep finding yourself restricted, like, oh, I'm tapped, it's time to start curating your collection. You've got to go through the collection, purge a bunch of stuff you've never watched or probably won't now. Like maybe you got in it. Look, I'm guilty. I've been to garage sales, flea markets, swap meets, all those things, thrift stores, and gotten really good deals. Which brings up another topic we'll get to, which is blind buying. Well, I'll just touch on that now. So for me, the best time to blind buy is when you get deals like that. If you find stuff at swap meets or thrift stores for $2, $3, $4, $5 or less, that's a win. That's a great deal, especially if you've never seen it. Then you're not spending, say, Criterion. You're trying to get into the Criterion collection, but those are $20 to $25 every single time, and that's on sale. That's not on regular price. That's just on sale, and so you're going to drop $20 to $25 and hope that you like a movie because some people have said it was good. I don't do that anymore. I'm done. I'm over it. It's over. If I'm going to spend that kind of money, I'm going to try to find that on streaming, watch it first, because what if it's just good enough for a one-time view? Well, that's like you rented it then for $20 to $25 and you can then get rid of it. But if I found it at a swap meet for $3 or $4, then I rented it for $3 or $4 and I can let that go. And then I can take it to the thrift store, flip it, and get something in return. So let's get back to the 4K though. When is it good to add it? Again, to me, it's got to be a title that's really worth the 4K upgrade. And I'm not talking like big budget things and explosions, are better than comedies. Look, comedies can look fantastic in 4K as well. So I'm not saying does everything deserve a 4K release? Sure, whatever. If you want to repopulate your entire collection in 4K, that's on you. That's fine. I would encourage you to purge the Blu-ray then or consolidate it into the same case so you don't take up shelf space, which I do a lot of on the channel. But not everything needs to be 4K. I'm learning, here's what I'm excited about personally. This is what I do. If something new was just announced for 4K, and I don't really care about that movie that much, the Blu-rays now dropped to under $10. Sometimes you can get it for $6, $7, $8, right? Or you can get the 4K for $25 to $27. Now I'm going to use, let's use Ronin. Just something I remember scanning for recently. Ronin is on 4K. I have never thought about watching Ronin again recently until, I've gotten into this collecting community and I see the sales and there's Ronin. I've never seen that movie since it came out. Never really been compelled to. Now, the question is, but Huck, if you're going to get it and only watch it one more time, get that 4K. Well, why should I? If it's going to cost me almost $30 to get Ronin on a movie I've never thought about owning. I like the movie. This isn't a slam on the movie. I'm just saying it's a movie I watched, liked a lot, but just never had in my collection. So the Blu-ray is under $10. And now I'm kind of like, you know what? I may only have one more watch of that movie in my lifetime, if I do it. So to me, there comes a time when you can utilize the 4K releases to purchase the Blu-ray. Now, I'm not a Blu-ray snob. If you're not a Blu-ray snob like me and you like owning just the HD quality version, then get it. Get that. Get the Blu-ray. Don't always feel like it's got to be the 4K. Like things I'm torn on. I love Ace Ventura. That's now out on 4K. I have the Blu-ray of both, 1 and 2. Part 1 and 2, When Nature Calls in the first one. That is one I kind of want to upgrade because I like Jim Carrey and I would see that again. But again, other things like Ronin, I think I've only got one more view. I mean, honestly, if I look around, here's the other thing too, y'all. If there are movies you haven't thought about watching and you see it at a good price and you want to own it and suddenly there's $10 out of your pocket, but it's been sitting on streaming for free and you probably only have one more watch, maybe let's just do that. Let's just catch the stream on it and go, you know what? That's out of my system. I'm glad I saved the $10. Now I can spend it on something else that I really, really like. So that's my take on whether I want the 4K in my collection or not. And I'm definitely not the person that wants to upgrade everything that's on Blu-ray, that it's also on 4K. Because look, right behind me, that's my 4K shelf. That's it. And it is full. It's done. I'm already putting things like in here, in the top portions, because there's no more space. So I've got to now start maybe pulling 4Ks I haven't watched or don't plan to watch. So I got room for some new 4Ks, right? Because I do like, for example, this year, Companion. I love Companion. And since that's never been in my collection and I really liked it, of course, out of the gate, I'm going to go ahead and grab the 4K. That's just how that is. There are other movies that are only out on Blu-ray right now, like Here with Tom Hanks and Heart Eyes. I love both of those movies. Because they are only out on Blu-ray, those are pricey Blu-rays. They are in the mid-20s. But Blu-ray should be much lower than that. Especially after this time. I've waited months on both of those titles, and they're still not in that 15 or lower section. So those may have to show up in a buy one, get one free, or buy two, get one free, or, something like that when a sale comes along. So you've also got to be mindful of sales, even when it comes to Blu-rays sometimes. Now, there's also purging titles. Let's talk about purging titles. Have you guys gone to your collection yet and just looked around? Like, I love looking at my collection. I look around and go, look, I'm just surrounded by all this good stuff. But then I know there's things on here. I got TV section over here. I got movies over there. I got 4Ks and steelbooks over here that have probably just sat there, never been opened, which is fine. I don't mind that I've never opened stuff because I do have plans for myself when I do my 52-week movie challenge to, as part of the challenge, not just see things I haven't seen, but also pull from my shelves things I've never opened yet and watched. Now, it doesn't have to be something I've never seen. I need to open it and show that title some love. So now I'm starting to keep my stuff sealed. Like I used to just open it, put it on. But now it's sort of a mindset. Look around, see what's still sealed. If it's still sealed, that means you've never checked it out. So there is something sort of, comforting about keeping stuff sealed so that like, okay, I spent money on that probably years ago. What's the deal? Maybe that comes off the shelf and it goes into the sellback pile. Or you add it to your 52-week movie challenge and you finally open that sucker and check it out. So make sure you're doing some purging and some curating so that everything that's on your shelf is something that you really want and that you intend to see at some point. Now, another thing is just having all your favorite movies re-released over and over and over again. How many times have we had, Rocky, Back to the Future, Superman, Batman, all these things, they just get done over and over again. And a lot of times it's not always a format upgrade. Sometimes it's just simply a new packaging deal. So we want to get the Batman trilogy. Cool. We're going to package it in this big box set. Now we're going to put it in the steel books. Now we're going to do this. So I have definitely, I can tell you, falling back on that whole got to get the next version, got to get the better version. Once I feel like I've bought the version of that thing I love, again, unless it's like one of my go-to titles, and I have very few. It's things like Rocky, Back to the Future, Galaxy Quest, things like that I can't wait to have the better version. I will look into double, triple dipping on things like that because I want to, right? But everything else is not part of the deal. It's not part of the deal anymore. So let's talk about the packaging. So when you see the new packaging and the artwork just sucks, it is horrific. That pushes down my desire to upgrade. Yes, everything tends to sit on the shelf for the most part. All you see is the spine hug. So what's the big deal? You can't see the art yet. I get that. I get it. But it's also like if you, the studio, are going to make me buy your stuff again, especially when it's not another format, you better present it in a way that makes me want it again, especially without upgrading the format. So, so for example, I'm just going to say, because I laughed at this thing, that new artwork for the Nightmare on Elm Street is laughable. I laughed out loud on my morning show about 2 weeks ago. I pulled it up. I busted a gut laughing. Because, look, I don't care. Like, that's a fine franchise if you want to spend the 200 and something bucks on that. I do not. I think that is way too expensive. Honestly, look, I got the Blu-ray set. Yes, the set that has the main movie on a separate disc and all the other ones are on the same disc. It's 2 movies per disc. And you know what? I watched the entire franchise, all 7 movies on those Blu-rays, and they were fine. The picture was not terrible. Like, look, we've all seen some of those older pressed DVDs where you can see the pixelization around the edges. That's awful. That's what I was expecting. And if that was the case, y'all, I'd be on the wagon that thing's garbage. But yes, ideally you want every disc to be movie to be on its own disc for the least compression as possible, and that's fine. But this isn't a franchise I would say is one of my all-time faves and that I watch it over and over again because I know a lot of you are big horror fans. I'm a fan of horror, but I'm not one of these go-to, like my channel would never be wrapped around horror because I'm more of a sci-fi guy. If anything, if I rebrand myself, it'll be a sci-fi thing. So to me, $20 is what I paid for that Blu-ray set, and I watched the entire series and I loved it. I thought it was great. I finally got to see Dream Warriors and Dream Master, like it's 3 and 4. So 1, 3, and 4. I thought those were fantastic. I had a great time. And never was I sort of pulled out of my viewing experience watching that set. So, that said, yes, the artwork on that new thing was laughable. I'm sure that's temporary. I'm sure that was put up to just, poke fans at, I don't care, You're like, oh my God. It definitely doesn't, to me, feel like Nightmare on Elm Street. There's so much better artwork out. And what I'm still like nuts about, I'm a movie poster purist. If you're going to really do a definitive anything, like the Sean Connery set for James Bond that came out, give me those original movie posters, something nostalgic to really put into the collection. Because let's face it, anybody that's buying stuff like we're buying, we're collectors and we're fans. And I'm definitely a fan of Bond because I have a Bond set up there. And if I'm going to change from that Bond set, show me why. Don't just say, oh, because it's Sean Connery in 4K. I'm like, all right, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait for that to drop rock bottom and give you as little money as I can. Because that's way too much for you're not even utilizing, it's just... Anyway, I just have a thing about not appreciating original artwork, especially when you substitute it for Photoshop garbage. Like, here's the face and here's the logo of the movie. That's my least favorite way to promote anything ever. So original posters, man. If you're going to do a definitive collection of anything, those artists created that art for a reason, and a lot of us are attached to that art. So anyway, whatever they end up doing for Nightmare on Elm Street, I could care less. I'm still never going to pay that amount for a 4K set for probably a franchise. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch that whole franchise one more time. Now, the original movie I love a lot. I can seeing that more times. But the entire franchise, I didn't even like the entire franchise. I thought 1, 3, and 4 were the best. So those would be the 3 I revisit. Is that enough to go 4K? Upgrade the entire series on 4K for 3 movies? Or do I just hang with the Blu-ray, which, by the way, I've got the 4K of Nightmare on Elm Street. So when I go to rewatch that, it'll be in the 4K format, but the other ones will still have to be in that format, and I'm fine. You just see, so that's the thing. We all got to do checks and balances with ourselves. Are you fine? Are you fine, Mr. Han? To quote Spicoli. Not really. Anyway, are you fine with the formats you have, with the movies you have? Or do you feel this obsession? Do you feel the FOMO that you must upgrade? Do you see other people doing it and they're just buying it like crazy, so you got to do it too? I think, like you and me, if you're like me, it's okay to not do that anymore. I'm over that. I'm over buying stuff because everybody else can and is. I want to keep my collection pretty much the way it is. I don't have any more space, so I've got to curate, take things out to put new things in. So that said, that is kind of where I'm coming from with my collecting. Is it over? No, I don't think I'll ever be done with collecting. Have I slowed down? Greatly. I have slowed down a lot. I do not have packages coming in every week. I don't have stacks and stacks. I don't even have a swap meet anymore to go find the cheap stuff anymore. And my thrift stores have like all but dried up. I can barely find stuff when I go out thrifting. So that's where I'm at, y'all. That's where I'm at in collecting. Am I done? No. Have I scaled down? Yes. Am I very picky about what gets upgraded to Blu-ray and then to 4K? And then it ends there. Yes, I'm very picky now. So let me know in the comments below where you stand and how you feel about your collecting. Is it something that you feel pressure from all these other channels, or have you sort of gotten over that hill and you just get what you want and try to find it on sale? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm a sale guy. Look, Groove, Kino Lorber, Amazon, all those things, they all have sales. So if you want to add to your collection, there's definitely ways to keep it cheap. But even at that point, like right now, there's a Kino Lorber sale as of the time of recording this. And I looked through it. And you know what? It's easy to make a cart of things that are okay. Like, yeah, that one's 10. Yeah, that one's 10. Yeah. And then I sit and I looked at the list. I'm like, I do not have the desire to really own any of those. And there was like 7 of them. I'm like, they're $10 each. That's why they're in the cart. Have I ever thought about any of those movies to be in my collection until I just saw them on sale? No. And that's where you get in trouble. Again, it's okay if you got the space and the money and you want to like go ahead and pull the trigger on those 7 and go, now they're in my collection. I just closed the cart and walked away. I'm like, it's getting out of hand. I don't need things I've never thought of or cared about in my collection. Let's keep it to what I know and love. And maybe if somebody gives me a great recommendation, and that's a great movie, maybe I'll pull the trigger on that. But anyway, that is it for now, y'all. I keep rambling and finding like ways to keep going, but that is it. That is the video. Thank you so much for checking this out. Let me know about your collecting habits and concerns and all that stuff in the comments below. Until next time, do me a favor, get down there. If you're new to the channel, hit like, subscribe, smack the bell, leave a comment, and share it with all your friends. It's very important to keep this community of collectors going and keeping us thriving, all right? And that's going to do it for today. Until next time, keep on collecting your way. Thank you to all my Cafe members for their support. And if you'd like to be a Cafe member to help support the channel, please consider hitting that join button now.